Are we showing up?
What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Feeling good? Good, good. You came through the back? Yeah! All right, good. Thank you, thank you. We got anybody who actually lives in Berlin? Please make some noise. Nice. We got anybody new to Berlin, perhaps? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good. I hear it coming from this area. I've been living here for about 2 years now. You know, if there's actually one tip that I can give you guys, there's one favor you could do for me before you leave. Coming from an ethnically ambiguous black dude with dreadlocks. Don't ask me for any weed after the show, please. God damn it, you know what I mean? Like this really happens all the time, you know? Like, no joke, I literally live down the street from Wurlitzer Park, so I'm familiar with these kinds of conversations, might I say. But no, so like really, like when these kind of things happen, like one guy asked me for weed, for example, one time, and I took this chance to ask him, what is it about me that makes people think I have weed on me all the time, you know? And he thought about it for a second. He said, I don't know. I think it's something about your, everything. Word, thank you for being so specific, asshole. You know what I mean? Yeah, but no. So, and then he had the nerve to actually ask me for 20. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, bro. I'm not from here. You know, I'm a guest in this country, right? Come on, man. Above everything else, I don't work on Sundays, man. Come back tomorrow, dude, damn. But no, like, when I say this kind of thing actually happens, you know, people mistake me for somebody that I'm not, you know. Originally, I'm from the United States, yeah, where I would be classified as what you might call a black dude. I found out that here in Europe, I could be anything. I get black stereotypes. I get brown stereotypes. For example, this guy came up to me one time. He said, Habibi! I didn't know that he was talking to me at first, but you know, Arabs had this look. You're excited, you know what I mean? Habibi! Assalamu alaikum! You know, and so clearly the eyes, I could tell he was looking at me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm American, but I'm also culturally sensitive, so I hit him with a Malaikum salam, bro. Somehow he could tell I'm not Arab. I don't know, maybe an accent, you know, I blew my cover somehow. But he looked at me and said, ugh, no thank you. Like I'm a piece of pork or some shit, you know what I mean? I thought I was a BB a second ago, I thought we were all good. But, you know, these things happen. These things happen, you know? But when I say this kind of shit really goes down, like it gets deep, it gets deep. For example, you know, some people really think that I'm that guy that they think that I am, but I'm not. And sometimes, I don't have the heart to tell them I'm not that guy. You know, I just let them continue to think that. For example, you know, when I was actually living in Munich for a year before I got here. Munich, Bavaria, great place. Thriving scene of black people, as you may have heard. Yeah, and one day I'm on the train after work, you know, typical day, I'm on my way home. This white lady gets on the train, we meet eyes, and she walks straight over to me with a full box of donuts and a half-drinking bottle of water. I'm looking at her confused, like, what is this? But I wasn't confused enough to not take the donuts. Thank you. And I was slightly thirsty, so it worked out. But as soon as I take these gifts from this lady, the entire train erupts into applause. People are clapping, some people are crying. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? And right when I'm trying to understand the situation, I see just over this lady's shoulder is a sign that says, Germany welcomes all refugees. Word, lady, is that what my face is saying to you? You know what I mean? Did you happen to get on the train and think to yourself, this child is starving? Really? Look at my fucking mustache, lady. And my work ID. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know? So anyway, you know, I'm trying to understand what's going on. I'm like, what do I do? How do I handle the situation? And like, when I'm trying to figure this out, somebody else comes by in gives me change. I'm saying, you know what I mean? It gets deep, I'm like, what do I do? How do I address the situation, right? So I tapped the guy on the shoulder. I said, excuse me. He said, yes. I said, do you happen to have any more change? You know, I just didn't want this guy to know that he's not the white savior that he thought he was. Well-intentioned, thank you, you know? And also, I needed something else to drink with these donuts. You know? I finish the water, it's just a sip, right? Yeah. So, man, these things really happen. How do we deal? You know, I actually picked up on yoga. I started doing yoga recently. Anybody else do yoga in the house? Woo! Woo! Very chill woo. Very chill woo. Thank you guys, thank you. So I started doing yoga, and it's actually given me a lot of benefits, right? For example, you know, the way you cycle your breathing, you put yourself in these strenuous positions, right? You maintain your focus, and actually, recently for me, I had a spiritual breakthrough. I reached this point that all the yogis talk about, right? Where I was in one strenuous position, I open my eyes, I look up, and I see my own inner self looking back at me through my asshole. It was such a brilliant experience that I've ever had, you know what I mean? I mean, think about it, like, you get to see another side of yourself. You're typically, you only see the front. And for the first time, I got to know the back of my balls. You know what I mean? That's my time, guys. I'm Justin. Thanks a lot.